Hey guys, yeah, it's about 7:30. I just got dropped off in front of the Burger King here in town. But I wanted to come on here because, well, something interesting has kind of been tugging at my mind a little bit, if you will. And what's been interesting that's been tugging at my mind is, of course, lately, I've been reading, thanks to recommendations and stuff, just out of curiosity, a lot of the adult, fan fiction stories of Sonic the Hedgehog. Some of them that I have reviewed and, recommended myself. Well, in two of those stories, we have the character of Nicole the Lynx, who, of course, we know who Nicole is from the Saturday AM cartoon, but we also know who Nicole the Lynx is, basically the Lynx alter form of Nicole herself, the one that she created in the comics, which became basically a comics, Archie comic exclusive. So, with that said, basically, we did notice later on in the comic, mostly in the final major arcs, in my opinion, of the pre-reboot series of Archie Sonic, or the pre-reboot continuity series of Archie comics. The final arcs being, Iron Dominion, and then of course the beginnings of the Death Egg Mark II arc, which would evolve into the Mecha Sally arc, unfortunately. We noticed that she kind of was able to shapeshift her appearance, if you will. She was able to shapeshift her appearance to be whatever she needed. She did this after Sally freed her from the Iron Queen's control by creating like a firewall within virtual reality that allowed Nicole not only to be free, but to also rebuild her firewall, her firewall, basically create a stronger shield against the Iron Queen's control. And then, of course, we saw her basically give herself a nice casual, like, out on the town, have fun kind of outfit when she went to enjoy a concert with Sonic and Sally, basically Mina Mongus's concert. Again, these were just prime examples of the fact, just slight introductions, I should say, and ideas of her being able to basically change her appearance if needed. I mean, again, after Sally freed her from the Iron Queen's control, she kind of served as a double agent and basically redisguised herself as, well, the Iron Nicole that she was corrupted into briefly until Sally was able to free her and restore her to her normal self. But like I said, to kind of, keep suspicion away, she went into double agent mode and redisguised herself as, well, basically Iron Nicole. Now, we see all these little moments here in the pre-reboot run of the continuity, basically the last major arcs. And I guess it was Ian Flynn's way of basically giving us an idea that, had he been given the opportunity, had him, Aaliyah Baker, Evan Stanley, Tracy Arlen, anybody else that wrote and drew for the book, but mostly wrote for the book, had they been given a better opportunity, without all the BS that happened behind the scenes, then maybe we would have seen more of Nicole kind of using her abilities to, become whatever she needed, or become, whatever look she wanted, if you will, depending on the situation. Now, did we get a little bit of an example of that in the post-reboot continuity? A tiny bit, but not really. We didn't really get much of it, at all. I think the closest we got was with Overclock Nicole, her super form in the virtual reality, thanks to a red star ring, and that was it. That's all we got. But outside of that, not really much at all. But when it comes to the fans, though, the fans are the ones that stepped up to the plate. And mostly I'm talking fans of the adult nature. And what I mean by that is basically you have web comics and mostly, fan fiction, adult web comics, that is, and adult fan fictions that kind of, I guess you could say, pick up the pace where it was left off. There's one called, I think it's called Cross Circuits. It's a web comic where basically Nicole and Sally kind of get very intimate after Sally's kind of had I would say, a very busy, uneventful day. So Nicole kind of, it kind of gives her a little bit of pleasure to help her relieve her stress. And basically Nicole reminds her, hey, I can do whatever you need me to do to help you out. And Sally's like, give me everything you got. And Nicole goes to town. She, goes to town by creating a certain male genitalia on her, if you know what I mean. Then she initiates her Iron Nicole self to be like a dominant BDSM like mistress or dominatrix, if you will. Then she brings out her other self, another clone, which is kind of just like her regular self. Because the one that starts all this is in her casual, out on the town look that I talked about, that she went in to attend the concert in the comics. So she does that. So that's basically the outfit she has. So again, like I said, she has these programs that Sally said, hey, give me everything you got. And she's initiating all these programs. She's initiating all these programs. And one after the other, you get another Nicole and another Nicole and all that. And again, the second Nicole is basically like a dominatrix version of her Iron Nicole self. And then the other is basically her standard comic book design and everything. And, it is just crazy. But what's even more interesting is that the last sequence that she initiates is that she initiates with all three of herself, basically herself and her two clones. Basically, the last program she initiates is she shapeshifts herself and her clones into versions of Sonic, Shadow, and Knuckles. Although we don't see their faces, we see basically enough to know, like, oh my gosh, she actually shapeshifted into the guys, or into these three well-renowned males. And it's stuff like that, along with what we see, or not see, but read in the Tails Harem Tale, which is the treatment story where Fiona, in this alternate universe, this amalgamation universe, is married to Tails, and her female friends and even the boyfriend's husbands know about this little treatment of, this little friends with benefits treatment. And basically, long story short, Sally and Nicole get a shot at it, and Sally basically says that she's helped upgrade Nicole's abilities to allow her to use her liquid nano body, if you will, her liquid nanobots, or liquid nanites, liquid nanite body that she's made of, or she created her body out of, to become anything or anyone she wants. And when her and Sally get a go at Tails as part of the treatment, the first of two, she turns into a copy of Fiona. She turns into Sally, and then she turns into a male version of Tails to help Tails give Sally a double pleasuring, if you know what I mean. And then the second time around, she does this, and again she becomes a male version. She becomes a clone of Tails, basically a male version of him, to help give both girls pleasure, by him. But then Nicole takes it a step further, knowing that Tails wouldn't want to go and cross the line that he doesn't want to cross, decides, I have an idea. And she comes up with the idea of turning herself into Tailsco, the female version of Tails, and then that's how she gets Tails to get it on with himself, because it's not actually himself, it's a female version of himself. And again, it makes you wonder that the fans being the ones that step up here, why couldn't, Ian, Ian Flynn or anybody else step up, earlier on? Why couldn't they do that? I mean, the fact that you have a character that you kind of give an idea that you kind of give an idea in the pre-reboot comics, can do this kind of stuff, and yet you don't capitalize on it. And yet it's, once again, the fans coming out and saying, yeah, we're going to, pick up where these guys didn't, and we're going to take it, a step further than they did. And especially when it comes to these adult stories, boy, do they ever. But let me ask you guys in closing, what do you think about the fact that, Ian Flynn and his crew had an opportunity to do this, gave us an idea that it could happen, but didn't really capitalize on it, even after the soft retcon and reboot of the Archie book? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Give me your opinions on it. And until next time, guys, again, let me know what your thoughts are. And do you think the fans, did the best they could stepping up to the plate to rectify that, even in the adult kind of area? Let me know down below in the comment section. You will get a podcast version of this later on. And until then, I am home now, guys. And sorry about that. And I will talk to you all later.